time. As of now, no reports of injuries or significant damage, although infrastructure is being checked for possible damage. President Trump praises Charlie Kirk as a great American hero. The president, speaking at a weekend memorial service, was attended by tens of thousands of people in Glendale, Arizona. The war in Ukraine grinds on. Now Russia and Ukraine are trading charges of drone attacks on civilians in their respective countries. Ukrainian President Zelensky will attend this week's UN General Assembly meeting in New York. He'll meet with, among others, President Trump. On Wall Street, the Dow futures down 170 points. NASDAQ futures 94 points in the red. More details at srnnews.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
My debt problem started probably about 2016. I needed my life to change financially. I called Trinity and I ended up joining based on high credit card bills and high interest rate. And my counselor at Trinity has been great, and Trinity has been helping me to get on the right path of paying off these credit card bills, bringing down the interest rate. They have consolidated my bills into one low monthly payment. And now I am finally getting out of credit card debt. So I just want to say thank you, Trinity, for showing me a better and greater path.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Sharon, and soon I will be debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce a brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Coming to you with NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. The schedule for the final phase of K383 modernization was revised late last week, according to the Kansas Department of Transportation. The updated schedule has construction getting done in December 2026, along with more work done in the 2027 and 2028 construction seasons. Work will include addition of shoulders and widening of lanes for the remaining 14 miles of K383, beginning near Almena and extending to 2 miles east of Long Island. Today, Divas 3, an NYC-based, a New York City-based singing group, will perform at 3 o'clock Central Time today at the Cultural Arts Center on the Colby Community College campus. For these stories and more area news, go to nwksradio.net for more.
Could see some patchy fog this morning from McCook to Norton to Hill City. Elsewhere, it'll be mostly sunny start to the day. Highs will rise into the mid to upper 80s. Southwest winds turning to the southeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Few strong to severe storms are likely to develop along I-70 after 4 p.m. and continue through the evening. There is a possibility of large hail damaging winds and landspout tornadoes, especially south of I-70. Also, heavy 1 to 2 inch rain and flash flooding is a possibility, particularly in Logan and Gove counties and south. Lows will be 50 to 55. Tomorrow and Wednesday, cloudy and cooler with increased chances for widespread showers and embedded thunderstorms, starting there on Tuesday and ending from west to east on Wednesday. Heavy rainfall and isolated flash flooding are possible. Highs will be around 65 tomorrow and 75 on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, dry conditions and sunshine are anticipated. This is meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
This season, the Mile High Magic is live on Rocket 102.5. Every hit, every pick, every end zone dance, we've got it all.
5-man pressure. Rogers hit before he throws it. Sack! P.J. Locke bounced up into the air, bounced again, and then caught by Devon Vele. Touchdown, Denver.
Brought to you by
Vince's GM Center, Proxy Feed Yard Imperial Beef, Simbelman Jewelry, Tubbs & Sons Ford Sales, F&B Bank, and Hurl Chevrolet GMC.
Your home for Denver Broncos football. Rocket 102.5.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7. Because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
As kids head back to school, it's the perfect time to get your home and yard ready for fall. At Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Colby and Goodland, they've got you covered. From all-season ultimate fertilizer and building materials to cozy patio heaters and furniture. Fire up family meals with a Traeger grill or Blackstone griddle and give your home a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Whatever your project, big or small, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware is here to help. That's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Your community, your projects, your ace. Shift your career into high gear with Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a lube tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon, the crossover back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Bold loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
Short kickoff fielded at the 8. Emmanuel Henderson looking for a seam. Finds one. Makes a man miss. Makes another miss. He could be gone to midfield. 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Kansas. Touchdown, Emmanuel Henderson. 92 yards to the house.
Denver down 3. Shotgun snap. Bo looks left. Throws the ball in the flat that is caught. Nice catch and a stiff arm down the sideline again. This is Dobbins into the end zone. Denver touchdown. The J.K. Dobbins show to open the third quarter. And Kareem Hunt slams into the defender but keeps his string. Legs driving. Touchdown. Kansas City.
And good Monday morning, everybody. Off and rolling on this Monday, September 22nd. Let me be one of the first to tell you, welcome to fall of 2025. What a glorious season it is. I love the month of fall. I love the weather. The only thing I don't like is the leaves. The only thing I don't like. Picking up leaves. I used to live at a place in Colby there, Connor, that just had an abundance of leaves. And it was always a whole bunch of work. I mean, it was like a 3 or 4 day deal.
It's kind of fun, though. It's because, fall is there at that point,
I mean, I get that. But at the same time, I mean, golly, the amount of work to pick up leaves. And it's not one of those deals. And I didn't have like a big riding mower. I know some people, we got a big riding mower. I could bag them all up or something. I didn't have one of those. I still have a push mower, which is fine. I like the push mower. But, if you're going to suck up all the leaves, it's going to take a long, long time. And I still have one very big tree at my home here in Goodland that does put down a lot of leaves. Doesn't take me as long, but it's still quite an adventure of getting the leaves put away every single year. But I love the month of fall, and I'm glad that we are in it. It's a good Monday morning, everybody. Ross Volkmer, Connor Schuh on the Morning Blitz. A full show ahead today with Nick Athen of Chiefs Blitz. He's back with us after his week off. We'll be getting into plenty of local sports results and things of that sort. Lots of fun and weekend winners and losers coming up here in just a little bit. How was the weekend for Mr. Schuh?
It was good. Had the first road trip for Colby football. Unfortunately, not a great result. Went out to Hayes on Saturday as well. Helped out a little bit earlier in the morning with some radio stuff over at Fike Park. So a fun weekend.
What'd you do in Hayes?
I just went over to check it out. I mean, I had just been in Colby for the past few weeks. So I'm like, why not go in Hayes and just
What'd you do? What did you do in Hayes? What was in the adventure of Hayes? Did you just drive around, or did you go stop somewhere, get something to eat?
Just drove around, got a little bit to eat. Nothing too crazy. Just checking out the area.
What did you eat?
I actually had this Japanese place. I'm losing the name, but they actually have a lot of Mexican spots out there.
There's a lot of those around here.
Yeah, right. But yeah, how was your weekend?
It was very fast and very crazy. For those who don't know, I finished up with Goodland Cowboy football Friday night. I got in a vehicle and I drove to Southeast Nebraska. I got in at around 2:00 Central Time in the morning, got up the next morning, went to the Husker football, tailgated, went to the Husker football game, watched Nebraska lose to Michigan, unfortunately, but that's what happens.
Good game, though.
Then came home, got home spent the night at my folks' house there in Southeast Nebraska on Saturday night, got up, and then came back, left around probably noon, 12:30, and got back here around 5:30, and then it was time to get ready for this week. So yeah, it was a weekend that was quick and in some cases lackluster of sleep, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It was all right. I had a great weekend. It was fun. Always loved going to Nebraska, going to Nebraska events. It's kind of like my Graceland, as I like to call it. It's where I like to go and spend time. And so I had a great time, but would have loved to see a different outcome, like you said, but that's all right. I'm not going to complain about it. It happens. We'll have more on this coming up in the show. So there you go. A weekend for you. We got plenty to get to in the program. So let's, I say we just get us started right now with our weekend winners and losers.
There are two kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
All right, time for winners. What do we got today?
I don't have any super regional picks, so
you've got lots of ones around your house. I have a feeling for winners of the weekend.
Absolutely. But first, I'll shout out Kansas football, KU football. I was talking about they weren't going to cover the spread last week, and they did that and then some. They won 41-10 over West Virginia. Just a massive win for them. 3 touchdowns for Jalen Daniels. So that's big, and I feel like you might have a little bit more on that one. So
I will, yes.
But I'll move on to my real number one. Got to shout out the Browns kicker, Andre Schmidt. It's actually
happens. Schmidt
happens. He actually has a crazy story. I mean, first, Lou Groza Award winner at Syracuse, doesn't make it to the NFL, is in the UFL last year, hits a 61-yarder, and then he gets a training camp deal with the Browns, and unfortunately, his mother passed over the summer, just totally unexpectedly. And it's just been a whirlwind past couple of months for him. And then on top of that, he misses 2 kicks in the week 1 game to essentially lose it. So he's just, I mean, you got to feel for the guy at that point. And then a couple weeks later, he bounces back, hits a 55-yarder to beat the Packers. And after the game, he said he dedicated that one to his mom. So that was really cool to see. Shout out to Andre Schmidt, my number one winner of the week.
Yeah, pretty good weekend. Great weekend for the Browns. I mean, good Lord. Of all the teams that you were like, well, because going into last week, you were like, well, I'll tell you, the Packers look unbeatable. They look so good in all kinds of areas. And then to have the Browns of all teams, no offense, the Browns of all teams be the team that trips them up in a defensive struggle and of winning field goal. That was a surprise. I figured you were quite proud on Sunday. You were
I was
running around the neighborhood with no shirt on.
I jumped out of my seat when I saw that game winner. I mean, I was ecstatic, but my take is that the Browns have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL, maybe the best.
It is, yeah, it is pretty darn good. There is no doubt about that. It is pretty darn good for sure. Yeah. So my first winner of the weekend, I don't like to play the homer card, but I think I almost have to today. It was a great weekend for Goodland High School athletics, particularly of the two main sports of football and volleyball. So Goodland football on Friday night earns what was according to, if we base it all off the Massey ratings, which we don't, but, the Massey ratings had Goodland winning this game against Oakley pretty convincingly. It was not that way. It was a very close, very gritty game, defensive-minded game. The Cowboys pull it out 7-0 thanks to some good running and a good play design from offensive coordinator Chase Toplift to give their best player on the field, Chayton Goodwin, some room to run and able to score on a drive in the third quarter. Other than that, there were no points scored. The Cowboys pitched a shutout on the Oakley Plainsmen, who were shut out for the second consecutive game. It was the lowest scoring win for the Cowboys since they won 7-0 back in 1987 against Atwood. It's been a long time. It's longer than I've been alive. Yeah, I did some digging last night. I was like, I wonder the last time they won a game that close or won a game that low scoring. And to get to 7-0, the combined points of 7 points, it was back in 1987 when they beat Atwood 7-0. So it was a low scoring game. And as I described it on the broadcast on Friday night, I said, that was the grittiest win I have ever seen for Goodland Cowboy football. The grittiest. I've seen some other wins. I've seen all kinds of wins. I've seen some blowout wins. I've seen lots of blowout losses. I've seen all kinds of different things. But that right there was the grittiest win I have seen. Things were not working great offensively. Oakley said, you got a freshman quarterback? Fine, we're going to load the box, and we're going to make you throw with him. And to an extent, Reed Cure did okay, but it was a challenge, understandably so. And the Cowboys didn't run the ball great, but stuck with it and were able to get a couple of decent plays and then got a ton of help from their defense. The Cowboy defense shined. They had 4 takeaways, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries that helped push them across line. They played great defense. They were very good tackling. I was just, like I said, it was a gritty. That was the way I would describe that football game. It was a gritty football game against Oakley Plainsmen, who are a solid team in their own right with their play designs and their skill position guys that have a lot of experience. That's what I was looking for, being older guys and upperclassmen. But it was the Cowboys who found a way to get a gritty win over Oakland. I don't know if in previous years the Cowboys could have done that, but this previous year this last game they did a gritty win over Oakley. So a win for them. And then, of course, for the Goodland Cowgirl volleyball team, who's had a great start this year, they go to a very good tournament over in Russell, and they have a very solid showing there at Russell. They go 4-1 on the day, and they pick up some wins against Hoisington, Central Plains, Russell, and Norton. And looks like they're probably on their way to winning this thing, but then they lose to Hoisington, the team they beat their first match of the day, 2-0. So they dropped their second match of the season. They sit at 10-2 overall. And once again, folks, this is all coming after what happened last year, where the Cowgirls finished 8-30. So they already have more wins right now, 12 games in, than they had all of their 38 in the year of 2020 in 2025.
Heck of a turnaround.
In the 2024 season. So it's been a great turnaround for the Cowgirl volleyball team, and they deserve some much love with that. So congratulations, GHS volleyball and Goodland football, my first winners of the weekend. I don't like to play the homer card, but I thought it was a very impressive showing there. I have to ask on your side, what happened down in Cimarron? Because I'm not going to lie, I was blown away by the score. 39-0, a loss for the Colby Eagles.
Cimarron so I remember you mentioned Cade Sunday, and you were like, oh, he's playing quarterback now. Interesting.
I was surprised.
So he's a big kid, and they were running him in the pistol pretty often, but they switched things up a lot, and they used him as a blocker in a wildcat formation, and they would just snap their running back. And then they had their number one receiver right behind him and just ran a bunch of option plays. with those two, with Sunday blocking for them. He was usually the lead man. They'd put him on the right side and just follow him. And that, honestly, that kind of threw off Colby a little bit. And they're missing their starting center as well, Zach Kistler. So that throws a wrench into things as well. So you got a younger guy in there, and there were some problems with snapping of the football, a few that went over Max and, well, not over Max and Smiley's head, but a lot at his feet, and the O-line just, there wasn't as much protection as there was last week, and a few more penalties, kind of more reminiscent of the week 1 game against Ulysses, but just overall not exactly what you were looking for, and it's your first road game too, so there's all the challenges that come with that as well, so that's kind of what I chalk it up to.
Interesting. Like I said, I was blown away by the score. I mean, not the fact that they could have gotten beat. I mean, anybody can get beat on any given night, but just that they were lost 39-0. I figured they'd at least score some sort of points against Cimarron, but that was not the case. But
made it to the red zone once.
Yeah. Bad snaps. Was a lot of turnovers?
Yeah, I think there were a couple of interceptions. I think 2. And then just a lot of turnovers on downs. I mean, Colby went for it on 4th down. Like, I don't know the exact number, but if I remember correctly, it was like 5 or 6 times. And just, I think they cashed in once.
Right. Rough.
It was bad.
Tough. So Colby with that loss, dropping to 1-2. Goodland's 2-1. Some other scores from football. Oh, by the way, I misspoke earlier. Goodland won 7-0 in 1970 against St. Francis, not against Atwood, against St. Francis. I misspoke. All right, some other scores from week 3 in football. Quinter besting Dighton 32-18. Hoxie, first win of the season. They beat Ellis 46-32. Quarterback Chase Meyer, 5 for 5, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. 120 of those yards going to Griffin Zur. And then Meyer also ran, if 128 yards passing was enough, he ran for 120 and 2 more touchdowns. And the Hoxie defense had 3 picks. So they get the win 46-32 in a high-scoring affair against Ellis. Wallace County unbeaten, beating Decatur Community in one of the better games of the night, 32-28. Wheatland Grinnell with a stomping of Golden Plains, 52-6. I don't know what's going on in Rexford, but I am surprised by the last couple of weeks getting beaten as badly as they have. I wonder if injuries are playing a part. Rawlins County with their first loss of the season. They lost to Trigo, who's having a really good start to this season, 40-34. But rarely do you see this stat line and lose. Rollins County ran for 369 yards and 5 touchdowns, but still lost. Austin Chumley ran for 128 and a touchdown, and teammate Dominic Paz ran for 173 and 3 touchdowns, yet still a loss. So
incredible.
Call me surprised by that for sure. Let's see here. St. Francis with a shutout win over Greeley County, 51-0. The Indians are 3-0. Lucas Riley, 3 total touchdowns. Lane Todd added 2 more. It's a 2-headed monster there for St. Francis. Waskin with the win over Moscow, 47-0 to get their second win. Shiloh loses to Ingalls, 47-12. And Triplanes Brewster with a close loss at Rolla, 44-31. And I can't forget about volleyball as well. Colby High School volleyball was at the Liberal tournament on Saturday. Lady Eagles beat Meade, but lost their other matches of the day, just went 1-3. And then Quinter and Hoxie both competed at the Dighton tournament this weekend. Quinter going 1-2, Hoxie 0-3 down at that Dighton tournament for some other results. And maybe another quick win of the week, Colby Community College volleyball. 5-0 in conference play. They sweep Butler 3-0 on Friday night. They're 13-4. Once again, yet to lose in Jayhawk conference play. So there you go. Some weekend winners on the high school levels. And junior college level to an extent. All right, what do you got? More winners of the weekend.
We're going to baseball right now, and it's not where you think I'm going.
Oh, not with that sweatshirt I see on today?
This speaks for itself, but I'll say they're not winners yet because they still haven't officially locked down that playoff spot, but the Seattle Mariners are a winner of the week. So the weekend, I should say. They've won 14 of their last 15, including a sweep of division rival Astros, who they're fighting for that top spot in the AL West with, and they swept them, and that has tied the Astros with the Guardians for that last wild card spot. But the Mariners are absolutely surging, and of course they got that sweep, and they're going to be a team no one wants to see in the playoffs. Big Dumper hit his 58th homer.
Big Dumper.
Franchise record. Broke Ken Griffey Jr.'s record
57
for homers in a season. Insane. But
do you think his number ends up being? He's got a week left. We're in the final week of the season. What do you think that number ends up being?
60 on the dot. I think he gets
dot.
2 more.
Okay.
And that solidifies his
Did
MVP.
he get 58 or did he get 57? I saw he had 57.
He hit 58 last night.
Okay, so he's got 2 more to go. Okay, got it.
So yeah, that is my baseball winner of the week. And
very good. I'll tell you, the last week is going to be interesting. Like you said, we'll see if the Guardians can surpass the Tigers, who are massively slumping. I mean, massively slumping at the finish line. I mean, it's like they sprinted the whole way and then ran completely out of gas.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sure you're loving it. So we'll see about that. The Royals apparently still have a chance of making the postseason, although I think
it's like a 0.1% chance.
So any
they scored 20 runs in a game this weekend, though. So
good for
shout
them.
out for that.
By the way, that lone loss for the Mariners was to the Royals in that 15. So, and then the Arizona Diamondbacks are still alive. I'm telling you, it's crazy. They're a game out of the wild card. I'll say their schedule, though, the last 6 games is brutal. 3 at home against the Dodgers, and then to finish up the season, 3 on the road at the Padres. I mean, just brutal.
If they sweep those games, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know if they're going to sweep them, but
never know.
They're going to need help. They're going to need the Mets to continue to kind of trip over themselves down the stretch here if that's going to happen. But
they just keep doing it.
I have to kind of piggyback off of your first winner of the weekend as I wrap up my winners, but basketball schools, football programs. Basketball schools, football programs. Kansas and Indiana just romped this weekend. First of all, Indiana absolutely pummeled Illinois.
Yes.
63-10. I don't know what Kurt Signetti puts in his coffee or in his team's Gatorade buckets, but everybody else needs to figure it out, because that man has got another football team that all of a sudden looks like a playoff contender. Now, I'm not going to jump on this boat here and say that, they're going to be in the playoff again. I just kind of wondered if things got going downhill for Illinois and they could not stop it, because 63-10 against the top 10 ranked Illinois team is unbelievable. I still cannot believe that score here to this day, and I've had 36 hours to chew on it. Still can't understand it. And then Kansas, like you mentioned, rolls West Virginia 41-10. And if we want to continue on this trend, Duke with the win over NC State, who was unbeaten. Now, UNC, who is a blue blood in basketball, got whooped by Central Florida and Scotty Frost. So that was not pretty. But, I mean, that Indiana and those KU wins, congratulations, those pro basketball schools, football programs, winners of the weekend.
I like it.
Crazy. All right, quickly on to losers before we get to Nick Athen of Chief Splits. You have losers? You have any more winners?
I do.
You got more winners or losers?
My other winner was Indiana. So there you go. So perfect.
Piggyback it. On to losers.
But let's go to losers real quick. I have 3. I'll zip through them real quick.
That's fine.
So Tigers, for obvious reasons, they're now only a game up on the Guardians. They lost again yesterday. They just got swept by the Braves. And about a month ago, they were up 15.5 games. This would be the biggest divisional comeback in MLB history in the final month of a season.
15.5 and blow it.
If the Guardians do it, and they get 3 games against them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'll be watching those. Utah is one of my other ones. They just got beat down in the second half by Texas Tech in a game that they were in for that first half, but the Red Raiders kind of ran away with that one, and they might run away with the conference if they keep playing like that. And then my final one, you might have this as well. The Broncos. Just a close game with the Chargers. It was a good one, but Justin Herbert's heroics won that one for the Chargers in the end. And Bo Nix didn't turn the ball over, but just couldn't quite get it done on offense despite.
He is looking like he is massively in this. He's looking like he's going to have a sophomore slumping year, unfortunately. It looks that way right now. I feel bad, but that's the way it looks. And that was the thing. I mean, you talked about this season, and you're like, well, if the Broncos are going to have, there were talks before the year. Like, God, the Broncos have got everything they need to maybe have a Super Bowl type season. I don't know if I'm seeing that right now, because I just don't know if the quarterback has it at this point in time. And defensively,
they got some pieces.
They got pieces, but I don't know if it's as dominant as I thought they were going to be, I guess, in the
linebacking core just isn't doing it.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, I would say. That is probably a bit of an issue. And I think that probably was the weakest link, if you want to talk about it there. So Weekend losers, I'll rattle through mine. Number one was Nebraska football. Now have lost 28 straight to ranked foes. They've not won since September of 2016. I was there. I saw it. I haven't seen one since. The biggest thing for my Nebraska faithful out there, football is about blocking and tackling at every level. If you can't block and you can't tackle, you're not going to win. Nebraska struggled with it badly against Michigan. 36 pressures. 36 pressures on for the Michigan defense, who just bulldozed Nebraska's offensive line, which thought was supposed to be a strength. It didn't. And Nebraska's defense couldn't tackle very well against two of the better running backs in the Big Ten, and Justice Hayes and Mitchell was the other guy's name. They were really good. Nebraska could have won that game. Didn't. Not going to blame anything else. Just they got to get better, particularly in the trenches, because that's where games are won or lost. As we say on this show, mass kicks ass. That's what we say. So they're a loser of the weekend, but there was a highlight. There was a highlight of the weekend from that Nebraska football game. I have to play this, though. It's just too good.
Plants, launches, far right side of the end zone, jump ball. Was it caught? Was it caught?
Unreal.
Touchdown, Huskers! Ja'Cory Barney on a prayer.
Bad clock management by Biff Poggi led to a Hail Mary at the half buzzer for Nebraska to make it 17-all, which was fun to see in person. Nonetheless, other losers of the weekend. How about Clemson football? 1-3 after being predicted to be a national title contender. Also, by the way, Florida 1-3 for the first time since 1986.
How about the Syracuse Orange?
Very good. Very impressive. Tell you what, what's that guy? Fran Brown?
Fran Brown. He's the man.
Doing a heck of a job. And one more quick loser in the NFL side before we get to Nick Athan. NFL field goal protection units. 4 field goals blocked yesterday. 4. Are you kidding me? 4 field goals at the NFL level blocked? What are we doing?
That was a fun
kickoff
NFL
that we forget to block the field goals. I cannot believe it. 4 field goals blocked yesterday.
Doesn't happen.
That does not happen. And how many of them resulted in touchdowns going back the other way? 2 of them did. 2 went for touchdowns the other way. The Jets and the Eagles.
And one of them won the game. It's crazy.
Exactly. Crazy. So NFL field goal protection units, loser of the weekend. There you go. Weekend winners and losers on this Monday. All right, we're going to take our first break. We'll come back. Nick Athan, he's waiting patiently with his cup of coffee. He will join us here in just a matter of moments. You're listening to the Morning Blitz on a Monday.
Your business was built right here. So was ours. At FNB Bank, we are not run from some distant city. We are run by neighbors for neighbors. We know what matters to you because it matters to us too. From local decisions to face-to-face service, we are here. Bank local, grow local, stay local. FNB Bank, member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, Jared Law with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas, with your morning market update. It's Monday, September 22nd, the overnight session. D's corn down 3 1/4, March down 3 1/4 at 438, May down 3 1/4, 447 3/4. East of 26 down 2 1/4 at 459 3/4. Soybeans on the November down 14 1/4 at 1011 1/4. Jan down 14, 1030 3/4. March down 14 1/4 at 1046 1/2. KC wheat on the December down 2 3/4, 504 1/2. March down 2 3/4, 526 1/2. July down 3 at 554. Chicago wheat down 5 1/4, 517 1/4. Feeder cattle last week finished 359.15. Live cattle 233.57 1/2. Lean hogs 97 1/2. Crude oil futures down 61 cents a barrel at 61.79. Gold futures up 48.80 an ounce, 3,720.30. Silver up 79 cents at 43.33. U.S. dollar index down 21 points at 97.03 and a half. Dow futures down 198.46,461. S&P futures down 20 points, 6,702. You need to move any cash grain or want to talk about risk management, you can reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Sluder, or Tyler Goshen, 913-748-3000. Here in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hinkie or John Stiles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Quick hits, bold takes, and all the action.
I'll take that action.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz.
We continue here on the Morning Blitz on this Monday morning. So glad you've decided to join us, no matter which way you are doing so. Appreciate you taking part of the Blitz. Once again, if you want to get your thoughts and comments in, FB Bank text line is open. Also, get your comments in on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. If you have any questions for our guest, Nick Athen, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer those for you. Nick, good morning, sir. I believe you're muted, so be prepared here. Or maybe we muted you. There you go. Morning, sir. How are we doing today?
Welcome.
Well, I think there you go. Hello. Good morning, sir. How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, you're good. I'm glad you're a little glitchy. I don't know if you've got, maybe one of us is having internet issues yet. We'll see. There we go. We'll see. We'll work this out.
Are we here?
We'll get it going here.
I think you're sounding fine on my end.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're good.
All right.
You're good. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Hey, was it a late night last night staying up to watch that?
Yeah,
first win of the
staying
season?
up.
That'd been a while, hadn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had to stay up late for a Chiefs football game. So it was all good. It was, I think it was a predictable victory. There were definitely some mistakes in that game, but all in all, then writing the article post game, getting up this morning, realizing, hey, they still won. So it's all good, right?
Well, it is. I mean, let's face the facts. It had been a very long time since the Chiefs had won a football game. I mean, dating back to pretty much January of last year. It's been a while since they had lost. I know it's true. It's hard to fathom. I mean, how difficult has it been? I know they get just coming off a win, but how difficult has it been after seeing all this success to see the struggles that have been here early on this year to not get the wins?
Yeah, I think as a fan, you can certainly see, and again, the spoiled generation that's Chiefs fans at the moment who have not experienced any pain are really kind of experiencing it for the first time. Obviously, the Super Bowl getting they're getting kicked by the Eagles and losing to the Eagles again in the regular season, and then oh my, they're going to go to the Giants. Russell Wilson's suddenly the greatest quarterback in the NFL, and you just go through all the gloom and doom scenarios as a Chiefs fan. So I get what they feel, and I understand the things that they're saying and the demand for trade this guy. Let's go get Tyreek Hill. That'll save everything. Well, that won't save anything. But I think if you really look at that game and what it was, thank God we have number 15. I mean, that's all I can say, because I shout out to my friends in the Bills and the Broncos and the Chargers and a few other teams yesterday and said, hey, go out there and play without your number 1 and number 2 wide receiver. Just take them off the field for a game and see what happens. Put a rookie left tackle out there and see what happens. Put a second-year guard out there and see what happens. It's just, you can't panic as long as you've got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes made the plays in the 2 losses. Unfortunately, Travis Kelce drops the sure touchdown. It's intercepted. Isaiah Pacheco, against the Chargers, has a clean shot to the end zone, decides to go inside instead of outside behind Josh Simmons. That's 14 points you add to the final score in 2 games. And I think Kansas City's probably 3-0 at the moment. So everybody just needs to take a deep breath. Tyreek Hill's not coming. Don't worry about it. They're going to be fine when they get Rice and Worthy. Worthy should play Sunday. Rasheed Rice will play against the Raiders. And then it'll take a few weeks. And then no one's going to beat this team at the end of the year. We're all going to say, you remember when the Chiefs were 0-2? That's how I view it anyway.
How about Tyquan Thornton stepping up a little bit last night? He was good.
I read an interesting piece yesterday or the day before that Bill Belichick, spoke to Andy Reid about Tyquan Thornton last year and said, hey, get this guy on your roster. He's got a lot of potential. He needs some refinement. He needs some work. He needs to get some confidence. But, he's a legit wide receiver. And we all know Baylor wide receivers suck in the NFL. Every single one of them has been terrible. Maybe Thornton's going to be the exception. But, to go back-to-back plays by Mahomes, that just shows you that they knew they could take advantage of that situation if they could just get the ball to him. And I'm a little upset that he didn't have that touchdown, because then I would have won my underdog fantasy bet. And so all he had to do was get another touchdown for Mahomes, and I was all in the money. But hey, a win is a win, so you take your sacrifices where you can get them.
I actually have a question coming in from our FB Bank text line from listener Brian. He wants to know, is Matt Nagy an issue, and why are the Chiefs so off-focused on offense?
Listen, Matt Nagy is a glorified personnel man. He sets the table of which players are on the field for the plays that Andy Reid calls. Andy Reid is the offensive coordinator, and all these people who are saying, well, they've sucked since Matt Nagy has been the offensive coordinator. They won 2 Super Bowls with him, so I guess he knows what he's doing a little bit. But listen, this whole offense falls on Andy Reid. He calls the plays. He tells Matt which players are going to play in the game, and they just kind of have to he has to manage the personnel and get his guys fired up. Now, to his credit, and I don't know if you saw it, but when Juwan Taylor had that, another penalty that cost them the opportunity to get into the red zone and score, and I think ultimately they missed a field goal. He was on that offensive line pretty hot and heavy. I think what people miss is they miss the Eric Bieniemy that got in the face of the players, and that's what his job was. And Matt Nagy's not normally that guy, but you did see that yesterday, so maybe that's a good sign. But Nagy's not the problem. The problem is, again, no Rice, no Worthy. Travis Kelce just seems to be out of sync. You've got a young offensive line. You've got teams that the Chiefs are facing that are really good. I mean, the Giants played really great the week before against the Cowboys, and there was some fear in this game that Russell Wilson was going to turn into that player he was in Seattle, and we all learned, well, he's the same quarterback he was in Denver. So I don't think anybody should blame Matt Nagy, because he's just not the problem.
Nick Athen is our guest from ChiefsBlitz.com, joining us on the Hurdle Chevrolet GMC video stream on this Monday morning. Is everything okay with Travis Kelce?
I think Travis is just not able to do some of the things that he normally does, and I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem for him. Now, I think he'll overcome it. I think with all the hoopla with Taylor and all the hoopla about coming back and being in the best shape of his career and just making mistakes. I mean, he's done things on the field that we don't normally see. He's been in Andy Reid's grill a couple of times. And last night was, they got into it again because, Reid called a tight end screen, and it's just not a good play because he just doesn't have the body. He just doesn't have the ability to break those tackles, and he didn't have good blocking in front of him, and it was a loss. So I think with Travis, he wants to win so badly. He wants to go out a winner so badly. He wants another Super Bowl ring so badly. And then of all the all the stuff surrounding Taylor Swift, and there's a reason she has not been at the Chiefs games, and I think that's affecting him too. So I think he's going to be okay. I think he'll get his act together. When Rice and Worthy come back, then Kelce's going to have more space to work. I know they mentioned this on the broadcast last night, but he'll be able to work the middle of the field, and you'll see that production, and you'll see him, kind of turn his season around. But he is more reliant on the speed on the outside to be effective in the middle of the field. He'll be okay.
And I know it was against the Giants, but the defense still looked pretty strong. So you have to be happy with where they're at right now, right?
Yeah, you have to look at this, real positive. I mean, they played the Eagles tough. I mean, the defense played, and same with the Chargers. Had they not make the mistake at the end of the Chargers game, Mahomes gets the ball back, and he was going to win it. I mean, there was no question about it. And against the Eagles, I mean, they shut them down to what, 200 yards of offense, something like that. And yesterday, they go into this game with Russell Wilson threw what for 3 touchdowns and 450 yards against the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys defense is bad, but it's not 456 yards bad. Russell Wilson and Neighbors were brilliant, and the Chiefs shut Neighbors down. I mean, they even had Noah Williams on Neighbors one-on-one, and he was effective. So I think if you look at this defense, outside of the fact that there's just not a good pass rush, the secondary is really strong. The linebackers, though they lack the ability to cover backs and tight ends still, I think once Jeffrey Bassa gets a little bit more, it gets an opportunity to go out there in passing situations, I think that'll help. But if you look at this defense overall, it surprised me. I didn't think they'd be this good. And again, they've had a tough schedule, and the schedule is not going to get any easier. They got to face the Ravens. The Jaguars, we don't know what they are, but then they come home for the Lions, Commanders, and then they get a break, with the Raiders, 3 straight games at Arrowhead, which should help. But I'm impressed with the defense, and I'm glad Chris Jones got a sack last night. And I don't think the defense is the problem. If Noah Williams steps up and he can play well, Ashton Galati has got to step up for Mike Dana. He did nothing last night, which was a little disappointing. But and George Karlaftis showed, signs of life last night where he hadn't the first couple of games. But you look at all those factors, and still, the Chiefs' defense is pretty darn good.
Nick Athinger to be our guest here on the Morning Blitz, our friend from Chiefs Blitz. You talked about the schedule, and we've talked about this before too on this show. But I mean, the way this schedule is shaping up to be, and we kind of thought of going in. I mean, is it almost unfair, or is this, hey, when you're the king, you're going to get the best?
I don't know. I look at the Bills' schedule, and it's a cakewalk. They could go undefeated. They have virtually, other than the Chiefs and the Eagles at home, they have virtually no challenge left. The Chargers, it's so weak. And the Chiefs are a byproduct of being the best team in football and, being, the number 1 seed and all these things. But the way the schedule comes out, I think they really need to tweak it, because it's kind of unfair that you have, teams that are expected to be playoff teams have very easy schedules. And of course, a lot of it has to do with the division. I mean, the AFC East sucks. I mean, it's just not very good. The Jets, there was a great game yesterday. They could have won. The Patriots have, I think, a really good defense, but their quarterback is just terrible. The Dolphins, you don't know what you're going to see. I mean, you could see a mass exodus in trade of their roster here in the next couple of weeks, and their coach being fired. The Chiefs, they've got 4 Hall of Fame coaches in the division. They've got 3 really good quarterbacks. I think Bo Nix is a good quarterback still. It's tough, but they take it on. I think the thing I dislike about the way the NFL uses the Chiefs is, like the Brazil game. I mean, there was no reason for the Chiefs. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the YouTube subscribers up, and they use the Chiefs. I think at some point the Chiefs have to push back a little bit. I mean, they're already guaranteed they're gonna play a game in Europe next year. It's already been determined. I think it's going to be in London. So they're just going to use the Chiefs until they're not watchable anymore. And that's unfortunate. And for the schedule makers, I think they have to kind of adjust. I mean, they run a million scenarios to come up with, the best way to do it. And they have all these mathematical formulas. I don't know, maybe put Doge out there and see if they can come up with something that has a better algorithm that has more fair contests throughout the season. Because I think it's lopsided a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. It's certainly been a challenge. And really, give me your thoughts quickly on the Chargers. There's 2 teams when I ask about the NFC West, the Chargers and the Broncos. The Chargers, are they better than you thought they would be, or are they where you thought they'd be? And your just quick thoughts on the Broncos and their 1-2 start.
Well, I think for the Chargers, I think they're a talented team. I mean, they lost Najee Harris yesterday, which is going to be big. Now they've got no backup running back. And I feel bad for the kid. He's had so many injuries. I think the Chargers are a product of Jim Harbaugh knowing how to win games, close games, knowing how to get his guys ready. Again, their schedule is very easy. They have virtually no challenge on the road going forward, except when they come to Kansas City. But I don't think they're the greatest 3-0 team. I think they have a lot of flaws. I think their offense is extremely predictable. You get in a situation where Justin Herbert has got to come back in the third and fourth quarter, down double digits. And let's see what we're talking about. Everybody's kind of anointing him as one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. And I haven't seen enough statistically, sure, but I haven't seen enough. I think the Chargers are very predictable offensively, and with good defensive coordinators and a team that can score points against them, I can make a case they could have lost all 3 games. As far as the Broncos go, I think Bo Nix is kind of discovering what it's like to be a second-year NFL quarterback. Sean Payton, to me, again, I'm not a fan, but I got to give the guy credit. He has still put together one of the best defenses in the NFL. But there seems to be a disconnect between him and the quarterback. At least that's what I see. They're arguing on the sidelines. There's expectations. There's the pressure to win. I mean, everybody thought, including me, that the Broncos had a legitimate chance to win the AFC West this year. Now they're the same record as, the Chiefs and the Raiders at 1-2. Now, who's the best 1-2 team in the AFC West? Clearly, it's the Chiefs. So I think they are suffering from expectations and the pressure to win. Again, they've got a relatively simple schedule too, so they should be taking advantage of some of these bad teams. But it's tough to win right now. The ball's bouncing in the favor of the Chargers. Doesn't mean that's going to be that way in 4 weeks from now. I think once the Chiefs, and for the Chiefs, I think once they get past the back-to-back games at home against Detroit and Washington, I think they know they've got to go to Denver and they got to go to Buffalo with the bye week in between and vice versa. So I think this is going to give them some time to get all their parts and pieces back. But I think for me, if I'm a Chiefs fan and I'm looking at the Chargers or the Broncos, I'm not concerned that the Chargers are 3-0. And I would be more concerned about the Broncos just because of that defense. It's really good. And they haven't played, I think, some of their best football yet, so they need more time to gel.
How excited are you for tonight's Monday Night Football game? I think
I'm actually usually I fall asleep, but I think tonight I'm going to watch this game. The fact that both teams are going to be opponents, 2 of the next 3 weeks for the Chiefs. I want to see if the Lions are for real, what they did, last week, putting up 50 points versus the first week where they were terrible. And, what is, the jury's out on Lamar Jackson. I don't know what he is yet. I don't know if he's a legit superstar quarterback or, he's a guy that's a great regular season quarterback who puts up a lot of fantasy points. This will be a big test. And, someone's going to be, have a loss here. And these are 2 teams that I think are some of the top echelon of football teams. I think the Lions, for me, they lost so much on that coaching staff that I think it's going to take a little time for them to gel, hopefully past the time they play the Chiefs. But the Ravens, I mean, they should be really, really good. And again, they got a cupcake schedule too after they get to the next couple of weeks. So, they should be there at the end. But I'm curious to see if the Lions are legitimate going against a really good football team this week.
He is Nick Athen, ChiefsBlitz.com, our good friend here on the Morning Blitz. Join us on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Nick, it's always great, my friend. We'll do it again on next Monday.
All right, Ross, Connor, appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
Once again, good stuff there from Nick Athen here on the Morning Blitz. Okay, we'll take a break. When we get back, we will wrap up the show with some leftovers, finish up a show on a Monday. This is the Morning Blitz.
The black and gold are back, and you can catch the Goodland Cowboys and Cowgirls all season long on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Join Ross Volkmer for every thrilling play, big moment, and unforgettable highlight.
He's in safely, and the Cowboys walk it off.
From the first pitch to the final horn, we've got you covered, no matter where you are. Goodland High School Athletics on Rocket 1025 are brought to you by our great local sponsors.
Sherman County Community Foundation, Earl Chevrolet GMC, Wilkins Truck and Trailer, and Goodland Regional Medical Center and Family Health Clinic.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
As kids head back to school, it's the perfect time to get your home and yard ready for fall. At Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Colby and Goodland, they've got you covered. From all-season ultimate fertilizer and building materials to cozy patio heaters and furniture. Fire up family meals with a Traeger grill or Blackstone griddle and give your home a new look with Benjamin Moore paints. Whatever your project, big or small, Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware is here to help. That's Hooper Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Your community, your projects, your ace.
We've been serving ag families for generations because we believe farming isn't just a job, it's a legacy. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your operation, F&B Bank has flexible lending solutions designed for you. This is Loan Officer Kennedy Frank at F&B Bank. We're proud to be your hometown ag lender, member FDIC.
Shift your career into high gear with Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. They're hiring a service and parts advisor and a loop tech, and they want you on their team. You'll get competitive pay, full-time hours, health insurance, a 401k, and plenty more benefits, all while working with the crew that keeps the tri-state area moving. So don't idle. Apply today at Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Your next career is waiting right there under the hood.
You're listening to the High Plains only local sports talk show.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The Morning Blitz.
All right, wrapping up a show here real quickly in the leftovers. Anything come to mind that we've missed so far?
Haven't talked about the Rockies yet.
Oh, the Rockies.
Just got to throw them out there. I think they actually took 2 of 3 this weekend from the Angels. So, hey, shout out to them for that.
Did they really take 2 out of 3? Is that what they took?
I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. I know they won yesterday.
Let's see.
They did.
Connor is correct. 7-6.
Yep. So, hey, they are officially out of infamy. They passed the win threshold needed to not have.
They got to 43. Thank goodness. Still, though, what was the stat I had written here? Let's see here for the Rockies. What was that stat I had written down?
We predicted their
they avoided time the 62 Mets for NL futility with the record 56 home. But by the way, they did set a franchise record with 56 home losses. Though.
Oh, God. They still pack that place out though, because it's Coors.
It does. It's beautiful. I love Coors Field. It's awesome. I know why people go there. And that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're the Montforts who own the Rockies, why would you ever throw any money in the team? People show up and you're the worst team in baseball. There's still 40,000. Why would you ever throw any extra money? The Montforts are just, it's like Scrooge McDuck.
Lazy and rich.
Like diving into that pool of money is the Montfort family. It's what they do. They don't have to do anything because people show up. They want to be part of the atmosphere. It's a tough deal, but that's the way it is. Also, I cannot forget. So yeah, that happened. No Royals or Rockies. They're both off today. They say resume series on Tuesday. Once again, it's the final season or final week of the regular season. Excuse me. This week before we're done with that. And yeah, like we mentioned, Broncos lose on a last-second field goal, 23-20 to the Chargers. And also local sports today. Got to get to this real quickly. Colby Golf Invitational today over there at Meadow Lake Golf Course. You've got Goodland, Oakley, Rollins County expected to be competing there with the Lady Eagles and their area teams too going there for the Colby Golf Invite. And then a little bit of tennis today for Goodland and Colby girls at Scott City today on the docket. So that's only local sports here on this Monday. All right, let's get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off
time. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
You gonna give us an update on picks this weekend? It was not pretty though. Do you have your sheet of paper written down there?
Oh, I do.
How was picks this weekend for us?
So let's take a look. We both took the West Virginia spread.
So we're both 0-1.
Lost that one.
right?
You did say Kansas would win, though. I think I said that as well, but I didn't write it down. We both had Nebraska to win.
Yeah, that was a loss. I knew that. So there's 0-2 for me.
And we got Colorado right. I
Okay.
said they'd win. You said they'd cover. They covered against Wyoming.
Okay, got it.
I had the Chargers winning, so I got that. And I had the Chiefs winning, so got that. And you had the Chiefs covering, and you got that. And then you also had the Chargers winning, so not bad.
So we do 3-2 on the weekend. So really, I stumbled out of the gate, but picked ourselves up, dusted off, and finished strong.
Yeah, 3 of the last 3. Not bad.
So 3-2. Keep the record. We'll do this throughout every week. So keep the record. So we're 3-2 after this week. So keep the record, and we'll see how it all goes from there. But yeah, who you got tonight? Lions, Ravens.
Jeez, who's at home again?
Ravens are home.
Ravens.
At the big crab cake, as they like to say.
I got the Ravens at home.
Okay, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm taking the Lions on the road in the win. Can't wait. We'll talk. We'll discuss. We'll cuss and discuss tomorrow on it.
Okay.
All right, that does it for the program today. Thanks again to Nick Athen, as always. Thanks to you, our great listeners. A big boost of numbers watching us on the Hurdle Chevrolet GMC video stream today. Appreciate you all tuning in. Come back tomorrow. We'll be here 7 Mountain, 8 Central Time for another edition of the Morning Blitz. Have a good one. We'll see you then.